well, for too long, we've been told to either fake it till you make it, the confidence will come, or just take action and then the confidence will come. And for a lot of people, it doesn't work like that. So anybody who wants to get over the overthinking of even the smallest decisions and wants to stop questioning everything and themselves and don't want to keep comparing themselves to what everybody else is doing and what you should be doing and what you're not doing, you know, those of you who want to start to trust yourself and your own voice and be clear and have clarity in life and business. This doesn't just work in business. This is life and business. And you're ready to start taking those bold steps to be confident. I don't want to use that word authentic, but be confident in yourself again. Trust what you're doing. Trust the direction you're going. Being in your knowing. Then this is for you. I just want to connect with you a minute and just validate you, I guess, because you're not lazy and you're not inconsistent, and it's not that you're not disciplined or good enough or that your work isn't good enough. Let's get real here. This is what I'm known for. And I'm just going to be honest with you. You're feeling like you can't make a decision without second guessing yourself. And everyone tells you to just take action. But it's not working because you stop and you start. You then start beating yourself up about that. And when you do that, you then shrink back into the old patterns of survival, or you completely stop because you just can't bring yourself to post. You can't bring yourself to make a decision. You just freeze and then you shame yourself. Now, I know this because I've been there, and I'd say almost the first year of stepping into the coaching industry, I did this. Now, at that point, I'd already been running businesses, product-based businesses, and, you know, a very large hotel previous to that as well for, you know, the best part of, I want to say, over 15 years. But I was still doing it. Even in them businesses, I just didn't see it. I was stopping myself fulfilling my own potential. It was all about what I needed to do, what I should do. And actually, it wasn't what I wanted to do. It was what everyone thought I should do and what everyone thought I should want to achieve. And when we're in that space, that's the exact reason we stop. It's the exact reason we can't take those leaps of faith that entrepreneurs are, I want to say, expected to take, but it was pretty much a given in entrepreneurship. We take risks. Those that are successful take risks. They go with their gut instinct. They trust themselves. They trust their decisions. And that's the exact reason why faking it till you make it or taking action to build confidence doesn't work. Not long term anyway. So I hope that kind of helps you see that you're not alone. I've just got to tell you a little bit about me and my journey and show you how this works, why it works, and give you the proof that it works, okay? I know you're frustrated with yourself right now. I know that feeling very, very, very well. And I've learned through this process and through creating my framework and through working with clients that frustration it's a tool to tell you where something isn't working for you and what isn't working for you. Anger, frustration, agitation, all of that it's an emotional compass. And if you stick with me, you'll start to see why. So how do I know that this framework works? What have I achieved and where have I been? And I don't like blowing my own trumpet. I don't like to give the sob story, if you like, but I think it's important for you to know this stuff. So we'll start with positives first. So I'm a multi-award winning international business, marketing and self-empowerment coach. I have been in some of the biggest publications globally, including New York Times, the Sunday Times, Daily Mail, like all of the Sunday and usual papers, national papers in the UK, as well as all the big magazines. I was on This Morning back in 2009. I was in Best Magazine multiple times and won Britain's Bravest Woman Award alongside names of a name you'll know, Katie Piper. So, and I rub shoulders with, it's crazy to say this these days, but I rub shoulders with some of the biggest names in the coaching industry. So I don't see them as the big names in the industry. I see them as inspirational and everyday people that I learn from, connect with, talk to. Okay, that's the kind of rooms I'm in now, and the respect, the mutual respect amongst everyone is incredible. But it wasn't always that way. I was the eldest child to a mum who is a paranoid schizophrenic, and a drug addict. I faced more adversity in the first few years of my life than most people have in a lifetime. My friends used to joke that my life was like a never-ending soap opera, and still do to this day. But it made me who I am. It gave me the mission of helping people from my community. It gave me big dreams. It taught me big lessons. I have skill sets that I wouldn't have otherwise had. And it instills this belief in me that if I can do it, anyone can do it. However, when I started to do the work around my blocks, what was stopping me fulfilling my full potential in business, I had a trauma response and lost my voice for 8 weeks. I was just running my first marketing bootcamp. And you're probably wondering why I'm telling you this, but it's really important, because that is exactly how I learned all of these tools, all of these skills, put my framework together, and it's exactly how I can help you. So, without any more waffle, I'll just put my... So, how did all of that happen? Well, I told you it started with me losing my voice for 8 weeks. I just started running my boot camp, my marketing boot camp. It was going really well. We had more people joining, and yeah, I had a trigger in my personal life, which then cut me off professionally too. So how did I go from that to standing on stages, to speaking on some of the biggest podcasts out there today in 2026, to being invited to speak on global stages in New York, Rome, Canada, Dubai? How did my life change so quickly? Well, I'm gonna walk you through it. I'm gonna tell you the key things that you need to be able to build grounded self-confidence. And when I say grounded self-confidence, that is that inner knowing, self-trusting confidence that allows you to take up space, allows you to use your voice and be heard and seen, and to do all the things and take the steps towards what it is that you truly want instead of what you think you should want. Okay, so this is about learning how to trust yourself. Taking action will help to build your confidence, but only once you're rooted in confidence. And that comes from self-trust and self-knowing. Right, I've done my preach a bit. Let me give you the ingredients. So this is how we do it. This is where I started. I started to look at what it was I wanted for myself personally. What was it that I wanted in my personal life? Not what did everybody need from me, not what did everyone think I should want, but I went within. I was like, what do I want? And it had been such a long time since I'd asked myself that. In fact, I don't think I could remember the time. I'd probably been about 13 the last time I'd asked myself that. And at this point, I want to say 37. So it had been such a long time. And I thought to myself, what is it that I want from my business? What do I want my business to achieve? What was that big mission? Everyone knows I'm very heart-led. I'm not led by the money. That's not my motivator. So if the money is not my motivator, what is? And it's that impact. It's helping people. It's having a voice that helps create positive change in the world. It's allowing the 7-year-old Sarah who adored Mother Teresa and wanted to travel, helping disadvantaged children, and essentially wanted to save the world and wanted world peace. It was allowing her to speak for a moment and say, in an ideal world, what would I want? What does my ideal world look like? If I could achieve all my dreams, what are my dreams? What are those unreachable dreams? What are those, or seemingly unreachable? What was it that I wanted to achieve my entire life, but others told me I would never be able to do? I allow myself to just go there, to just think about what it'd be like and how many of those were still relevant to me today. And I did that for my life. I did that for my business. If you haven't got the self-assessment book, okay, the self-assessment workbook, go download it. Okay, it's got all this in as a structure in there to help you to really kind of get to the bottom of those things. Now, the other thing I needed to look at, secondly, was my values. Because if my values didn't align with the actions I was taking, there's probably the reason why I had so much resistance. And our values change and they develop and they grow just as we do as people, just as our identity changes. And these are all the things that make up our identity. And sometimes we go against who we are, or we try and shut down who we are to be more accepted. We people please, with all of those labels. But this is about us. So what are our values? What are our business values? What do we stand for? What do we stand in? Is it honesty, integrity? Is it impact? Is it truth? There are hundreds, if not thousands, of values that we can have within our lives and within our businesses and within our personal beliefs. But it's important for us to know what they are. Because, as I said earlier, those feelings of frustration and anger and disappointment and all of those perceived negative emotions, they're your emotional compass as to what is off in your life and business. And if you come back to your values, you'll probably pick it up there. You'll probably pick up what it is that isn't sitting right for you and what's stopping you. And the third one was actually identifying where my negative self-talk patterns came from, those beliefs I had about myself, let's say. Now, I believed I was too masculine. I wasn't pretty enough. I didn't fit in. I wasn't good enough. I was too fat. What are the other ones? I was too much. I had to be quieter. I talked too much. There were so many things I believed about myself that made up my identity that, if I'm honest, looking at them now, I feel like they're a load of BS. But back then it was very real. A year ago, it was very, very real. And I was taking action and it looked like I was building confidence and everyone was just like, wow, you're doing these incredible things. But it was draining because I had to push through. Some of it was really easy because some of it was really, really aligned. Majority of it was aligned, but I didn't trust myself to be able to reach my goals, my target, until I really implemented this framework and really dug in and developed it more. But understanding where those came from. So I give you the example that one of the biggest issues I've always had, and it's a constant daily challenge for me, I have body dysmorphia. And the concept around me being too fat came from different things. As probably about a 6-year-old, started becoming a bit, I've always been heavy boned, proven by x-rays and scientific machinery. But everyone just assumed I ate loads of junk food and was fat. And that I just didn't exercise, and I was unhealthy, and all of the things around that, all of the stereotyping that went on. And actually, I was probably a bit younger than that, because I remember being 4 at dance school, and one of my dance teachers turned around and said that I was too fat to be a dancer. If I wanted to be a dancer, I needed to lose some weight. And I was about 4 years old. And she didn't say it as politely as that either. I also remember another dance teacher, bearing in mind by this point, I'd won lots and lots and lots of trophies. Never scored less than 97% in dance exams. This particular day was the last competition I ever took part in for ballroom and Latin. It was also the last results day I ever had for exams, and I've been taking exams since I was about 2 years old. I was in that dance school from a very, very young age, and I'll always be grateful for the experiences and what it taught me. But Arlene from Strictly, she called out my name to give me my results from the exam that she had judged, and I got 100%. And my dance teacher went crazy, because there's no such thing as perfectionism. You can always improve, you can always do better. So her dancers aren't allowed to ever get 100%. Following that, she also told me, had I lost more weight than I had, I would have had a dance partner and been more successful within dance. I left dance that day. Now, why am I saying this to you? Well, these scenarios, alongside being bullied about my weight, had created this narrative that I was too fat to be respected. I was too fat to do the things I dreamed of. People didn't mean it offensively, but growing up I was known as the big girl who sings. You know, Sarah, the big girl who sings. The big girl that dances. And it became my identity, but not an identity I liked. And even though I don't know how much I've lost in stone, but I can tell you I've gone from a size 22 down to, I fluctuate between a 14 and a 16 in the last year. But when I look in the mirror some days, I still see size 22 Sarah. He wants to hide away. He wants to run away. And the impact of all of what everybody had said, that I realised that the things I think about myself 9 times out of 10 aren't my thoughts, they're other people's. So in the self-assessment, the third ingredient, I think it's the second task in there, in the workbook, but the third ingredient to this transformation and to being able to take those steps forwards is really looking at what you're telling yourself, where your insecurities are and where they come from. And are these things that you want to change about yourself? If so, why and how? Or can you even change these things? And that is the basic makeup of the foundations, the ingredients for the transformation, for turning things around in the way you know yourself and the way you conduct yourself and the way you show up for yourself and in your business. And as I said, for me, it took me from no voice to now speaking on, I can't believe I'm saying this, global stages, my own podcast, or the People's Podcast. I've helped over 300 women, over 300 businesses, if not more, by now, since stepping into this space in the last year. Actually, it's a lot more than 300 now. And I get to continue running a business that feels aligned, helpful, impactful, inspiring, lights me up, that I'm excited. If I have to take a break for any reason because the kids might be ill or somebody else needs me to do something, I actually get frustrated that I can't be doing my business for that hour or two because my business excites me and I know the direction I'm going in. I know what those next steps are. I wouldn't have been able to tell you that a year ago. It came from knowing me, learning me. So I've got a little offer for you. I want you to go away and I want you to, if you're not already, get that workbook. It's completely free. Okay. And I want you to start on this process. But I have got an invitation for you. So I've turned my framework into a 12-week program. And before you switch off, I don't want you to disappear. At least if you don't feel quite confident that that 12-week program will be right for you yet, there is something else that may help you make that decision. I just want to tell you about my Becoming Bold and Brave program just for a moment. It's 12 weeks. You get a weekly group coaching session with me. I've also thrown in 2 bonus one-to-one sessions. So that in itself is worth nearly as much as what you'd be investing for the 12-week program itself. There are all the tools that I use. There's all the resources that I use. We're going to have the coaches that I work with regularly come in and give you some tools as well. So it will take you from, of course, you can use the self-assessment and you can go at it in your own way and it will help you. There will be some form of transformation. But if I could guide you through that, through our 12-week program, it's going to be more embedded in you. You're going to feel more confident in knowing that they're the steps that you've got someone to come back to and say, are these the steps that are right for me? And I'll be able to guide you and coach you because I'll be able to get to know you and your morals and your values and your foundations and your businesses. So you'll have that support, you'll have that group and one-to-one support there to make sure that you fully embody the transformation and not just get something out of it for 5 minutes, because I want you to really take on and embody the confidence and self-trust that this framework can give you. And if you're not too sure, I'm going to tell you a little about one of my clients in a moment who I tested this framework on initially after I developed it from my own experience. First off, I want to tell you about, if you're not too sure that it's right for you, I have got a masterclass where I group coach you through the workbook and we start our hot seat, some of you as well, and we'll start to see the key areas of what's coming up for you and how to break some of those barriers. I'll go into everything in more detail. You're essentially getting the first module of the course for free. Well, not quite for free because there is a small investment. And the only reason I'm charging for it is because when we invest money in, we're more likely to take action. And this only works if we fully throw ourselves in. If we're willing to fully throw ourselves in and do the work. And it's not always easy, but it is most definitely worthwhile and can be very, very life-changing. So I'm offering that $33. If you want the details, the link is there in the comments. If it's not for you, I hope the workbook helps you genuinely and I hope this has helped you to get some transformation, some inspiration, some knowing that it is possible. And just quickly before I go, I'm going to tell you a little bit about a client of mine who wouldn't even get on a Zoom call, believe it or not. She would get on a voice call and that would be it for the first few weeks of working with me. And I've known her for 4 years. And I slowly started taking her through my framework. And this was as I was building this framework. I tested these things on myself. And she was the first person I tested these tools, this system with, if you like. And within a matter of weeks, the introvert that I called my friend and client, the person with such a big mission and beautiful heart, who couldn't stand in front of one person and talk about her business, or get on a Zoom call and talk about her business with someone she'd known for 4 years, was suddenly standing at a networking event, telling everybody about her business and her mission. Her husband was so proud. I was really proud of her. Opening doors for her business that she could have only dreamed of. Collaborations and potential contracts, business to business. It was incredible to see. Even I didn't expect the transformation that she went through so quickly. And this happens rapidly when it gets going. So like I said, if there's even a tiny part of you that is pulled to see if what I'm talking about really works, book your spot on the masterclass. I promise you, even just doing the first bit of the work, you'll see a transformation. You'll feel that transformation and you'll see that transformation in a very short amount of time. And if you're interested in doing the full 12 weeks, then sign up for Becoming Bold and Brave 12-week program. We start on the 20th of May. And you will be fully supported through one-to-one and group sessions. You will have all the tools, resources, bonus resources, everything there to really embody self-trust, self-knowing, self-acceptance, self-love, self-esteem, self-confidence, all of the selves, and have already taken the strategic steps towards the goals and the wants in your life and your business. Any questions, please reach out. Thank you for staying with me. And I look forward to seeing you on the masterclass or even in our program. Okay, lovelies, take care. See you for now. And if you